All right, we got 2 minutes until we're starting. 2 minutes. Are you guys able to see my PowerPoint? Cool. All right, we're gonna wait 1 more minute for a couple people to show up, and then we're gonna get started. So 1 minute. And just to be sure, everyone can see my PowerPoint, right? We're all good? Cool. Okay, we got a pretty small class tonight. So I am going to unmute you guys. You know, obviously if there's anything going on in the background, we're gonna go ahead and mute you back. But because it is small, I mean, participation is highly, highly, highly encouraged. So for any of you people that are on, you know, Facebook, doing any type of online community or engaging in them, working them, creating them, whatever, please, 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 please feel free to talk about it. Let us know whatever you need to do. You know, whatever's working for you, anything. All right. The good thing about all these small classes is that we actually have the ability to really talk instead of, you know, a lot of people just kind of zoning off. So you guys usually end up getting a much better class because of that. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay. So right now we're talking about engaging an online community. All right. Now, let me go ahead and unmute you all. All right, so everyone should be live unless they muted themselves again. You know, clearly feel free to mute yourself again. But I just want to make sure, you know, we're all on the same page. Does everyone here have, you know, just a regular Facebook personal profile? Okay, cool. Now, when it comes to the personal profile, listen, there's so many things that we're going to dive into, but really, Facebook is focusing on 2 things. One is private messaging with their Facebook Messenger app. There's a lot of bells and whistles coming to it. It is great for real estate agents because honestly, you want a private message. I mean, that is the ideal thing that we can get because that's the best way that we can capture a lead. And the other thing that Facebook's really harping their own stuff on is creating groups and giving more, I guess you could say power, et cetera, priority to managing groups or engaging in them. All right. So today, we're going to cover a few things. We are going to be mainly talking about Facebook groups, but there are online communities everywhere, and I'm going to tell you guys about a couple things that how we can, diversify and get across all of the other platforms. So first and foremost, we want to kind of get rid of the idea that it's quantity. It's really quality nowadays. There was a time even a year ago where I was saying, like, you got to post, you got to post, you got to post, you got to post. That is kind of going away. So it's really becoming more of a less is more thing, particularly when you're dealing with, online communities, and in this example, Facebook groups. Most of these groups that I'm going to show you, and most of the groups that you'll probably be part of, are all part of your local area. All right. So I really, really try to focus on your local area as an online community. So finding the Facebook group of, for instance, I use the Bethel Park Facebook group. That is something that can really generate a lot of leads for you if you practice giving more than you're taking. All right. So the idea with that is to actually be a part of the group, to really talk to people, to engage in their content. So it's good if you are part of your own local, whatever your local area is. If there is like I'll show you this example. I live in the South Hills, and one of the best places around here in terms of group participation is Bethel Park. Bethel Park has several groups that are about Bethel Park, one of them being Citizens of Bethel Park. I believe that was, as you guys can see on my PowerPoint here, that was the original group. If you look up at the top, it says Citizens of Bethel Park. There's 5.3 thousand members. They have a 10 posts a day. And if you go down to, you'll see that there's the real Citizens of Bethel Park. And I think if you guys have practiced any type of online engagement, you know those differences, right? So usually the Citizens of Bethel Park group happened first, and somewhere down the line, someone was saying something that other people didn't like, and they fractured and decided to just create their own group. Typically in some of those groups, you can see that, like, listen, and it may just be humor, maybe they're poking fun at people, or, whatever, but there's usually a reason why the groups fracture, and they're two very different style groups. And that's a common theme. So wherever you're living, I really suggest that you literally just type in the area that you live in, and then check under the group section to see what's there. I live in Brentwood, and there is also a Brentwood community. Hey folks, Tom Tremonti here. And the Brentwood community page focused on, all sorts of things. And I remember specifically when I got into real estate and I started, becoming a part of it, I started seeing the exact same thing. There wasn't a fractured group, but boy, oh boy, was there a fractured opinion for everyone. Half of the group was basically saying, some crazy stuff about the local police department, about the local bureau, just everything. And those people were basically pushed out of the group. Another trend that you're going to see in these things is they clearly don't really like any type of hard business sale. So if you go into any one of these groups and you think that you're just going to start talking about real estate and people are going to start dealing with you, that's probably not going to happen. There's a reason why these groups can be very effective, especially if you work them the right way. So number one, we took care of. I really want you guys to locate any local groups that you have, in your local area or the markets that you want to work in. It always works better that you are in the area, because then you can actually be a citizen of the area and participate in the messaging. And number two, we want to discover some local businesses on Facebook and Instagram. Local businesses, especially with solid social media platforms and solid social media profiles, though, that is a community. Most of those people have a good trail of 1,000+ people following their business just to see what's going on in their business. That's another way, like, let's just say it's like a local deli, a local lunch joint, local coffee bar, whatever. So that's another thing that inside of your own local community, you can start looking up those things and seeing if there's any local businesses that are really getting some pretty good social media attention. And participate in them. So comment on those threads. Talk to those people. If they post something, let's say it's a coffee joint. If they're debuting, the new fall spiced coffee, you should probably post about it if you also enjoy it. That's something that's going to kind of work into those algorithms and really connect you to other people that you already didn't know. All right. So anything that you post after that, they have a higher chance of seeing, the drill, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then third, I really, really, really suggest, and I think a lot of other people would suggest this too, a lot of managers, to go and subscribe, and I'll show you later, to subscribe to the local reporters, the municipal government, and the local politicians, because they are on Facebook, and I'll show you where to find them. But that is an amazing way for you to stay in touch with something. So for an example, you know, I live in Brentwood, and the local mayor is definitely on social media. He's on Twitter, he's on Facebook, etc. Now imagine the ability of you, the real estate agent, to take whatever post your local mayor put out and then push it into that local community group. That is a amazing and advantageous thing that you really want to do. And if you get there first and you're posting that content in there, you are giving them something they want to know because they live in the area, and you're the person who delivers it, right? The messenger really, really can benefit from all of this local group kind of stuff, all right? So we're going to dive into some of these groups, and I'm just going to talk about them and just kind of tell you what to do, what to look for, you know, how to really create some engagement. And of course, you know, some things that we don't want to do, so we're not pushing people away from us. All right. So what I did is I went into the Citizens of Bethel Park group. It is a closed group, which means that you have to either be invited in or you have to petition to be in that group. That may be some questions like, where do you live? Do you live on this street, that street, whatever? It may be, who knows? All the group rules are different, and some of those intro questions are different. Now, we're taking a look up at the top right-hand photo. Most of these groups do have group rules, all right? Most of them are the classics. You know, you want to be kind of curious. You can't really do any business bashing. So if you do have a bad time at a restaurant or whatever, a lot of these groups really don't like when you just start throwing around that, you know, that business's name and start talking trash while you're in there. Number three, of course, you want to respect everyone's privacy. Now, any of those closed groups will not allow you to share things out of the group. So you could share like an article or a post or whatever into the group, but they won't allow you to take them out of the group. And you'll notice that with the, you know, with the Berkshire closed group. You know, you see that you can put something in there, but you really can't take anything out. So that's clearly respecting everyone's privacy. And last but not least, and it should be all over the place, no hate speech or bullying. That's just not how you connect with people, and that's not a good, okay thing. Period, end of story, all right? Now, this center picture here, it's showing just the members, and what it's also doing, any single one of these groups here is gonna show you who are the administrators and who are the moderators of the group. Anyone that is sales savvy, you should probably know those people. If you wanna participate in that group, it might actually benefit you to know who each one of those people are and maybe even reach out to them individually. Because if you reach out to those people individually, whether you're in the group or not, I mean, you know who holds the power. It's right there. So those people have some advantage in that community. And if they become one of your ambassadors and they really like you as a real estate agent and think that you are truly trying to bring people into this community, I mean, why wouldn't they give you a little bit more free reign? Maybe they'll let you post a business post every so often. You know what I mean? Maybe some kind of backdoor kind of stuff. So talk to those people, find those admins, find those moderators, make friends with them. That is just as important as joining the group and the group messaging and the group community just as a whole, all right? Another thing about these groups, and this is why Facebook's really trying to get these things moving and put a lot of, you know, money and time and energy behind them, is because they connect communities, they connect people without the algorithms, without any of that stuff. So instead of just having your news feed look like a crazy, you know, whatever, it's, you know, a political post here, then pictures of kids here, then dogs over here, then real estate here, these groups are much more focused. And as you can see, they're showing you how many new posts per day, how many posts are in the last 30 days, how many members are in there, how many members were added in the last 30 days. That's all vital information for you. That's even something where if you are moving someone, let's say into Bethel Park, in, you know, a lot of the pro real estate agents give their clients when they're moving in, you know, a list of all the utilities that are in the local area. Why not add the local Facebook group? A lot of the community groups know what's happening in the area faster than any other station, any other news, any other way. That's something that could be very vital for them, because maybe they even want to find like a new restaurant in the area. Connecting them to this group and showing them that it's right there, boy, does that set you apart. So, you know, there's, again, a whole bunch of different groups. Those are the citizen style of groups. So those are just people talking to people, talking about the area, etc. Another thing, which was kind of off the table in terms of talking about it for a while, was these buy and sell groups. Does anyone participate in any of the buy and sell groups? Not as real estate, but just in general. You ever bought anything off of these groups, sold anything through these groups? Cool. So listen, they are super beneficial. And for a lot of time, I know that some of the higher ups were saying not to use that because you're kind of dancing in between you, the person, versus you, the business. So if you're promoting a listing, you really have to make sure that you're following the MLS rules, you're following the company policy. And really, the most important is never, ever, 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 ever posting another agent's listing. Ever. Clearly, there's a nice asterisk right next to that, because if you're in-house and if it is another Berkshire agent, you listen, you can ask, you can get it in writing. If there's someone that just works in your office and you don't have any listings to promote, if you get it in writing and you ask nicely, why wouldn't another agent allow you to share a post into a group, right? Or hold an open house or whatever. But that is something that people do all the time, and it is never a good idea. Ever, 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 ever. So we're just going to break down some of this stuff. This is the Pleasant Hills, Jefferson Hills online flea market. All right. This is Patty Schaefer. I'm not exactly sure where she's from. I believe she may actually be from Howard Hanna. Nope, that's not true. She is from a small brokerage. I think it's either buy or sell real estate, or it's Jefferson Hills Real Estate. But anyhow, she's posting this into the online flea market. All right. It's a newly listed, it's a contemporary, it's in Washington County. You have your property panorama link there, which for you guys, you'd want to use your own agent website link. So if you have that listing, that lead comes to you if they click on it. But what Patty did was post that in there. And as I'll show you, she actually got some pretty good traction with not a lot of stuff. And that's something that most real estate agents aren't really finding if they're just posting their listings on their own Facebook, just like a regular old post. Because posting into these buy and sell groups, I mean, they're there for a purpose. It's clearly to buy or sell something. So more than likely, people are there to go follow it. So this next photo is just showing you what the comment thread is on this one post. Now remember, that post was not fancy. Let me go back for a second. Look at this. You can't even see the front of the house. It's literally the worst photo you could ever post for that house. It is completely obscured by a giant bush there, right? So more than likely, if you posted this, not a lot of people are going to click on it, just because you can't even tell what it is, right? So let's jump ahead. And let me show you some of the results. Now, according to that picture, it was posted at this point 15 hours from when I found it, 15 hours before that. And if you look at these comments, they start within 2 hours of her posting. The first one, Joey, is tagging Christy. And we all know that if you tag someone in the comments, you're basically showing them that post. You're sharing that post with them. So right off the bat, Joey and Christy are leads. Right off the bat, that's a lead. Joey probably has heard or talked to Christy, and Christy has said, I want to buy a new house. I want it to be in Jefferson Hills or Pleasant Hills. Maybe it's family, maybe it's friends, we don't know. But Joey tagged this person. That's enough information if you're a good real estate detective to run off of. So what I suggest is clicking on Christy's name or clicking on Joey's name, just kind of do a little creeping on them in terms of their social profile, see what's going on, see where they live, just kind of see whatever you can, and then send them a direct message. There's nothing wrong with that. Someone gave the red flag right there that this person, Christy, is ready to buy. You as the real estate agent who posted this should absolutely, maybe give that comment a like or say, hey, thank you. But I would send a direct message to Christy and say, hey, Christy, I see that Joey tagged you in this post. Are you interested in properties in Jefferson Hills? Is this something you want? Is this the area you're looking for? Are you looking for a different school district? What's your price range? Blah, 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 blah. All the classic qualifying questions. And the beauty of it is because it kind of happened organically, you're really jumping onto something that it doesn't feel like it's salesy. You know what I mean? Their friend basically suggested this, and as long as you're nice and courteous, don't push the sale, but it's going to make a connection to them. They're going to go, wow, you're quick. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. Or maybe they want to answer you. Big deal. Right? We look down, we have Ellen, who I believe is the niece of Patty. Whose place is this? So that's pretty good. Claudine, how much is this listed for in what school district? Which really, if we go back a photo, it literally says right here how much it's listed for and what the school district is, right? But anyhow, that still is a person. That still is a lead. That still is someone asking. Right underneath that, Chrissy answers and says, hey, it says it right on the listing, right? I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would suggest just following up with Claudine in a private message. And as you see, even below that, there's another person down here, Cindy, 11 hours. So that was 4 hours after this was posted, tagged another person, Tammy. Same thing as before with Christy. That's a lead. I would almost guarantee that Tammy had a conversation with Cindy about real estate. Why else in human nature would Cindy randomly tag this person on a house? Unless that conversation has already occurred, right? So these leads are already hot. Like they're already thinking about real estate. It's not like you're just going out into the, you know, the huge open space and screaming, buy this house, buy this house, buy this house. And then at the bottom, we have Sandy, who's basically just asking what's the price, which you could clearly send a direct message to and tell her all about it. All right. Is everyone following along and seeing how that's pretty easy to kind of open up some leads right there? Cool. Okay. So I'm going to play a video for you guys. It's going to open up. It's a YouTube video. Some people, it was very loud as soon as it started playing for them. So just, I'm going to give you a little volume warning before it starts on, right? I want to say it's a 4-minute video. We're only going to watch about 1:30 of it, and I'm going to skip through some of it. And I mean, just pay attention to it. This is a real estate agent on your left-hand side here. This is Shelly. And then she's going to one of the places that she frequents to basically talk about that group, that community, and that business. All right. So before I start this, I just see a message in the chat. Hold on one second. Yes. Okay. So you can't necessarily force them to see your message, but if you've interacted with them, so say if they are part of a community group that you're in, or they're randomly associated with you because of a person, because of something you like or whatever, you actually have a higher chance of them just seeing your message instead of doing the whole, like, do you accept a message from Jennifer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make any sense? Cool. You're very welcome. Yeah, so I mean, the message thing, like I said, Facebook's really trying to get into this private messaging, and they're really trying to open it up for people. So they are making it a little easier for you to send a direct message. All right, so I would just do it anyway. And if they answer you, awesome. And if they don't answer you, big deal. Move it on. All right. Okay, so let's jump into this video here. Let's give it a look.
As a busy realtor in Pittsburgh, I'm always around town checking out new businesses, restaurants, and fun things to do. I want to share with you my favorite places and things to do in the South Hills. I'm Shelly Killinger with the Shelly Killinger Group at RE/MAX CSI, and this is South Hills Saturdays. So today we're here at Cycletique in Bethel Park. This is a little indoor spinning studio that I work out at every week. I'm absolutely in love with it, and they have this awesome boutique. You need to check it out. Come on inside. Hey Lisa.
Hey Shelly.
How are you?
Great, how are you?
Good, thank you so much for having us today.
We're so glad you came. Thanks for doing this.
That's awesome, absolutely. Well, it's all about Cycletique today, so tell us a little bit about what you've got going on here.
Okay, so
we're gonna put a pause in for a second. You see what's going on, right? I mean, she said this is South Hills Saturdays, so this is at least a weekly video series. I don't know how long it's lasted for, but she started it off as a series. She's taking people to something that she enjoys. She is a member of this community. All of these people, I mean, we all know, I mean, if you go to some place where you're exercising regularly, like you get to know the people around you. It really becomes a community. And there's tons of real estate agents that go and they're involved in small communities or go to gyms regularly or just participate in Lions Club or the local city council, whatever. And just by them being in there regularly, like they've opened up so much business opportunity for themselves, right? So I'm just gonna flash through here for a second. and we're just going to
But
show
it
you.
does, yeah.
Your bikes are reserved before you even get here, so you don't have to worry about, I have to get there early to get the bike that I want. I don't want to be in the front, I want to be in the back, whatever that means. So your bike will already be ready for you.
Yes.
Our classes are 45 minutes, and we offer upper body, lower body, obviously you can
Everything, yeah.
all in one class. So we do have classes with weights. We also incorporate bands during some classes, which changes up the resistance.
So one of the coolest things about Cycletique is that they're so helpful. When you come in for your first class, they're going to show you exactly how to set up your bike, what height is best for your body type. They're going to help you get into the pedals, which is probably the hardest thing to do the first time you come, and they're going to walk you through the entire thing.
There you go. Nice little business plug showing exactly how helpful they are if you are coming in, right? Which is important because if you're showcasing like an exercise community, I mean, how many people, if you're not exercising regularly, I mean, it takes a lot to be able to say, okay, I'm comfortable in doing this, I'm jumping right in, right? So she's showing the explicit benefit for this specific place and how they help you as a new person into their gym, right? Where normally you just pay the membership, you walk in and everyone says, hey, oh, okay, bye, that's it. So she's showcasing that this is a true community and not just a business, all right? I mean, really, a lot of it kind of dips into the same stuff. She just talks to the owner a little bit, and at the very end, she just does some plugs about, you know, some classes coming up or whatever. But she clearly takes part in that community. She is a member of it. All right, so we're doing the next big thing to help you engage with an online community, all right? We are talking about tagging locations and checking in. It is just as important as posting regularly, if not maybe even more important, that when you are posting, you're tagging locations in the posts. All right, so one more time. When you are posting, if you are out and about in the world, if you're posting like you can see, this is my son and my daughter, we are at the Pittsburgh Zoo, they're checking out the super, super highly venomous snakes, and I'm tagging the Pittsburgh Zoo. Because what happens is, if you keep tagging the places that you're in, listen, we leave a trail anywhere we go anyway because you're carrying a cell phone with you no matter what. So Big Brother knows where you're at. Everyone knows what's going on anyway. So realistically, if you're tagging these locations in the photos and posts that you do, that helps you relate to other people, all right? So say you're at Pittsburgh Zoo. This is kind of creepy, but it's true, all right? So just bear with me. Say you're at Pittsburgh Zoo and you take the photo, you tag the zoo in there. There are hundreds of other people doing probably the same thing at that time, at that exact time. What Facebook and Instagram knows is who those people are. So there's a pretty good chance that things that you're posting, if they relate to things that these people are posting, that someone might start showing up in your news feed, or you might start seeing, I know some of you guys that go on Facebook regularly, you see those, you know, there'll be like random friend suggestions. And it's like, who are these people? And they literally make no sense to you whatsoever. And it's not like they requested to be your friend, but if you start doing some digging, you'll start figuring out why and how. And all of it is because tagging these locations, you're basically telling Facebook, like, these are the things I enjoy, these are the things I do. Help me relate to other people who also like doing those things. The Pittsburgh Zoo would also obviously be the big and first one. So, you know, either you're, you know, by tagging these things, I mean, that's just a simple tag. Like you can see over on the right-hand column, I literally just wrote snake and period. What you really want to do is start tagging those places and start adding some value to that, right? So on Facebook, maybe you write a review. So listen, the Pittsburgh Zoo has 1 million reviews, but that small coffee shop we were talking about, the small local, you know, little deli that popped up only 6 months ago, but they have an incredible sandwich. That's something to tag. That's something to review. That's something that you're giving back to them. Listen, if you leave a review on a single, you know, just a small business's page, do you understand the power that that actually gives them? That opens up their door so much more by you giving a review. So if you have any local favorite restaurants, favorite joints that you want to hang out at, just literally go on tonight and just write a couple reviews. Give a 5-star review, talk about what you like the most, talk about the atmosphere, bing, bang, boom. You will help that business, and you will definitely get the benefit of helping that business. That business, you'll start connecting to the people that are in it. You'll start seeing the value in it. And what if they just like your review? What if you write a stellar review and then they want you to come in and maybe put up some of your, you know, business cards in the area? Or maybe if you got a flyer, you can start sticking a flyer up there and they don't even ask about it. or they want you to. I mean, this is the way that old school real estate worked. Before the internet, to be a successful agent, you had to know the local area. You had to talk to local businesses. You just had to, because that was the only way that you were going to get your message and your business and your goals out into the world. So with the internet, that's just kind of giving you a little extra steroids, a little extra boost to the whole thing. That's really all it's doing. Everyone kind of clear on the whole idea of just tagging? Cool. Okay, now we get to one of the most dangerous, but also probably the most important thing going on. You know, listen, 2 years ago, and when I was still working for the company explicitly, I really stayed away from political stuff. I mean, even just the mention of it, I would tell people not to mention your political ideologies on there. I still think there's a lot of people that probably shouldn't in whatever way, shape, or form. But honestly, we are a very political nation. And it's almost getting to the point where if you're not involved in politics without being political and picking one side or the other, like, you're part of real estate, you're part of the local fabric, you're part of the local government. I mean, you sell for them, realistically. Like, you're part of the whole tax thing, you're part of everything. So highlighting community issues, getting in touch with local representatives, I mean, really, really getting into it. See, there's Dennis Troy right at the bottom there, Mayor of Brentwood. That is super, 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 super important. Super important. I can't say that enough. It is very, very important. And if you like real estate and you like sales, getting in with the government and your local municipality, you many times, and I know I have at least 2 people on here that can probably agree with what I'm about to say. But if you know someone in local government and you have a house that may be having a little bit difficulty getting an occupancy permit, or even whatever, I mean, something related to the municipal government, maybe they have to get some sewer work done, knowing the local government can probably get someone out there faster than if you just were doing the regular old real estate thing and hoping and praying that someone's going to pick up the phone and actually go look at the house you're trying to sell. So knowing the local government officials and knowing the people of the areas that you sell in regularly, that saves closings, that saves deals. Like, I mean, I don't know, I can get a million people to testify for that, right? And I know for some of you guys, I mean, it's, you know, it's overwhelming. It's kind of scary. It's a little strange. Most of us have been taught to kind of stay away from the government, but you're in real estate and you really got to look into some of the opportunities that just come from literally maintaining a contact with a local government official. I mean, just liking their posts or commenting on their posts or whatever is something that can really set you apart. All right. Do any of you guys actually participate in any of these local community things, or you know, discuss anything with local reps or anyone that's like the mayor of your area? Do any of you guys do that? I'm seeing a lot of no's. That's okay. It's something that happens in time. It's not for everyone, but it definitely is for everyone to just follow them. See what they're talking about. See what's going on in the community. That just helps at least stay informed about the community. All right. Now, Facebook has a lot of this great stuff that's really kind of hidden in there. And it's called Town Hall. So if you're on Facebook, either on the computer or on your mobile phone, and if you're on your mobile phone, on the bottom right-hand corner, there's either the 3 dots or you have the 3 lines, which shows you all of the additional menus. If you hit that on your phone, if you scroll through some of those options, you're going to see a section that says Town Hall. All right. And Town Hall, I mean, really, it's so easy to just hand you everyone that's in your local area, right? You just got to start following them. It's pretty simple to do. That's something that I definitely suggest, I mean, for real estate more than anything else. All right, so we're going to move over for 1 second. Okay, so we're going to be talking about showcasing community efforts, right? And I know this name is usually not spoken of. It's kind of like Voldemort. But Movement Mortgage, they have done amazing work highlighting community activism, community issues, community engagement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, there is a little video, I believe. Oh, no, that's just to their page. But listen, Berkshire has, I mean, multiple charities at this point, because I think they're all folding into one. But there still is the Northwood Charitable Foundation. That's something that you can get involved with, and it's part of your own thing. That's stuff that you can showcase. That's stuff that you can highlight. I know that they give things like the Ronald McDonald House. I've done a few things. They have the golf tournament. I mean, there's so much stuff that even within our own company, you can actually use, you can be a part of. So I'm just going to show you this with Movement Mortgage. Movement Mortgage does not shy away from talking about faith-based values. I mean, they don't say exactly what denomination they are, but they do not ignore the fact that they are built on a faith-based network, right? I mean, they don't shy away from it. They have regular prayers, I think, before every single meeting that they have. I mean, it's a thing, all right? And they don't shy away from it, which is pretty rare in this day and age. But I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and it's going to open up the link for the Movement Foundation, which is going to show you what they're doing. Let me just reshare. Okay. So right now, you guys should be looking at the Movement Foundation. It really just gives like basically a breakdown of what they're doing, how much stuff they're doing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you can see, I mean, they have so much stuff involved with it. They have a movement center, they have a movement school, they have Movement 10K, which is basically a 10K grant. They have match giving. So if you, as the person that works for Movement Mortgage, if you give to a nonprofit donation or you spend time, they match it. So there are a lot of agents that are out there that do things like that. Like, let's say, I know Brian Tessier, right? I know you guys have probably heard his name before, but Brian Tessier, on almost every single one of his posts after his closing, he donates $75 to a local charity. That's just his thing. He does it every single time. He says it every single time. That could also be your thing. If you love pets, you could donate to the local shelter. I literally was watching the news today, and Beaver County has no money. They need food. They need everything. They need cleaning supplies. They need everything for animals. And if they don't get it, we all know what happens. So using your cred in real estate to help a local charity, regardless of what that local charity is advocating for or helping out, that is a huge, huge thing that you can do. That's good. It's kind. It's what we should be doing. And you can actually use it as, honestly, a marketing piece. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're doing it for only that reason, I think it's not going to last long. But if you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart, you got to show it off. It works. It gets people also involved. It makes them think about all of the pets that they've had. All right. Let me jump back here. Okay. Whoop. What are you doing? I do not know why, but my share just got dropped. Hold on one second. Okay. So let me go back and show you this one thing that I know that I forgot. Okay. We were talking about, doing some type of, community work. We're also talking about charity work. This right here in the middle, in between the citizens of Bethel Park and the real citizens of Bethel Park, this is called Buy Nothing Bethel Park. Some of you, if you are familiar with Buy Nothing, it is a national, actually I think it's international now, charity, which basically focuses on creating either a group like a Facebook group, or a website that is only within that local chapter. So this is Bethel Park, and it's called Buy Nothing because all it is members of that local community offering up things and other people can have them. So it's either a trade or it's for free. So your local areas, if you got all this stuff, like I have 2 young kids, we have a ton of baby stuff that we don't use. It's done. You could try to sell it. I don't really think that's that great of a thing to do. A lot of it was gifts to us. We can give it out. Give it away. Donate it. Help someone else that's in your community that may be struggling, that may actually, listen, those strollers are $200 a piece. Not a lot of people can afford a new stroller. Give it away if it still works, right? So I would check out, there is definitely several. I mean, there's, I think the Bethel Park one, there may be a Mount Lebanon one in the South Hills. I don't think there's many more in the South Hills, but there are a few that are up north. So for any of you guys that are up north, I'm pretty sure there's a Beaver one, and I'm almost positive there's like a Wexford, McCandless area one as well. But that Buy Nothing group is also something. So if you do have a lot of stuff and you're looking to give it away, join that group. Give it away to people that are in your community. All right. Does anyone have any questions? All right. Well, unfortunately, this was very short. So I'm going to hang out. I highly encourage you guys to ask me some questions. And it can be literally about anything you want to ask whatsoever. So I'm going to unmute you for a second. If you do not want to be unmuted and if you got everything you need, feel free to leave. But if you have any questions about anything whatsoever, I'm here. All right. And I'll be here for at least the next couple minutes. Okay. So let me go ahead and unmute all of you. All right.
Hey, Vinny, can you go over how you go to find the local government again?
Yes, yes. Let me open up a new window inside Facebook, and then I can show you exactly where to go.
Thank you.
All right, hold on one second. Okay. Okay, are you guys able to see my Facebook news feed?
Yes.
Okay. So over, and this is on, this is on desktop, so it is going to be a little different, if you're on your mobile phone. But if you look over on the left-hand side, there's a section that says See More. You click that, and right there, now it may be further down. I mean, mine's up there because I use it regularly, but it's called Town Hall. See, Town Hall, and when you click on that, it's going to open up. And of course, Facebook already knows where you live. I put in my address because I want to stay informed. But listen, they already know who you are. They already know where you live. They know where your phone rests. So they're going to actually find the right people that are closest to you and the people that you should be following.
Okay.
All
Thank
right?
you.
You're welcome. And you can even see here, like, look, if you're in downtown Pittsburgh, they have the Bureau of Police. They have the Bureau of Fire. I mean, that's all stuff to just have as if you want to stay an informed citizen. That's good stuff to have.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I mean, I'm on Facebook too, so if you guys want me to show you something in Facebook, I can do that. I'm not going to keep you the whole time, but if you want me to show you something, I'm here. Cool. Look, we got some fundraisers. I just clicked on fundraisers. This is also a great thing. You can look around your local area. You can support large scale, fundraisers. I mean, they could be a million different things. Unfortunately, there's a million different birthday fundraiser. Oh, that's for other people. Okay. There we go. So Facebook now allows you to you can either raise funds for your money. I know a lot of you have seen that. You can ask for, instead of giving me a gift, you can donate some money, to whatever thing that you want. I think it also depends on how much of kind of a pull you have on Facebook. So if you got a lot of people together, then that's obviously a big thing. But there's so many things that you can do that are engaging the community and really helping out. And you can all find them within social media. So let me back out of here. Cool. Any other questions? Check the chat. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay. So what you want to do is when you're thinking of interacting with a local group, first off, let's do a couple things. Your profile, like just your basic Facebook profile, should honestly have that you're an agent on there. I mean, it should be written right across the top and pretty apparent, right? So no matter what, if someone even hovers over your name, they should see a Berkshire banner, or they should see that you work at Berkshire, or whatever it is, right? So right off the top, you're kind of saying it without saying it. Now, the idea, remember going back to what I was saying before, is that you want to give more than you take. If you go into a group, guns blazing about real estate, you're taking from them, right? Some of it, honestly, is just about opportunity. So let's say that someone, I mean, clearly people do complain in those local community groups, right? So say someone's complaining about their taxes going up, which is a very common thing, or they're complaining about the local municipality doing something they don't like, or yada, 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 yada. Think about that. That's a prime opportunity that someone's making a complaint about the place that they live in, that if you do it tactfully, you can jump right in there and say, you know, hey, I work for blah, 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 and I see this all the time. I completely understand how this goes. Like, oh yeah, or you can deflect, or you can do whatever, you know, and that kind of gets down into the sales training of it and communicating, etc. But you're just looking for windows of opportunity. And those groups are literally ripe with opportunity because we all are human and we all like to complain regularly. I hope that answered your question. Cool. Anyone else? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I sound like my daughter now. Okay, we're good to go. You guys are getting out a good 15 minutes early, right? So don't tell Todd. We're not going to mention that we got out early, all right? You guys have a good night. Feel free to reach me in any way you'd like. I mean, you can give me a call. If you want to write my number down, I can give you that just right through here. It's 412-439-5374. Feel free to call, text, whatever. You can Facebook message me. You can email, whatever. Well, email probably won't get checked as soon as the other ones, but feel free to send me a message and ask whatever I can help you guys with. I'm here, okay? All right. Thank you guys for attending. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy.